So tell me about the origins of this story, how you guys kind of all put it together, and how you all decided that it was going to be a group film again.
Well, we always wanted to do a third film together, and we started thinking up ideas on the press tour for Hot Fellas, which was 6 years ago. And there were a couple of things that came into this one. One was that I had been on a wild pub crawl when I was a teenager, and not so wild that I finished it. I kind of like flaked out a third of the way through. And I wrote a script about it when I was 21, which I never did anything with. And that one was much more in a sort of Dazed and Confused kind of vein. But then way later, when we were promoting Hot Fuzz, it occurred to me that there was something richer and more comic in the idea of like grown-ups trying to go back to their hometown and recapturing former glories. And so that was one part of the idea. And then the other idea, which had also sort of come around from shooting Hot Fuzz, because that was shot in my hometown, was that both me and Simon are from small towns and have gone back to our small towns a number of times, our hometowns. And it's always a bittersweet experience.
Yeah, the kind of feelings we were having in that situation were immediately familiarity and alienation. You know, you kind of, you recognize everything, but it feels very different. And we kind of thought it would be funny to take that to its literal extreme and have it be down to a literal kind of alienation, you know. So that became the twist.
One of the best things about the film is y'all's dialogue, interacting back and forth. How much of that was scripted and how much was improvisation?
All of it.
All of it was
There's
scripted?
no improv. We don't improvise. We have a rehearsal period whereby we all get together and get the rhythms right and sort of become familiar with the dialogue, and so we go, when we hit the set, we can hit it running. But there is no time for improvisation on set because we work very hard. We write the film in a very structured way. All the segues, the transitions are all very hard cuts, and you know, often they'll link to certain things. And also the dialogue is very structured in that there's lots of foreshadowing and paying off, down to sentences repeating or ideas repeating. And if they get lost in a morass of kind of self-indulgent improv, then we're lost. So there's a moratorium on it. No improv.
The script is kind of like sort of, it's structured very tight, and usually it's because like the scenes have like a beginning, middle, and end. And especially the end lines usually end with somebody walking out of the scene. And in, you know, very improv-heavy comedies, you just have people arguing, you know, which can be very funny, but that we sort of hopefully got this internal momentum, so we try and pace it very well.
If there are improvisations, it's very rare that one actor lets another actor say the last thing. You know, it just keeps going.
Yeah, it becomes about like one-upmanship, doesn't it? It's
yeah. You know, and the way Edgar works, he knows exactly we need to get out of there, so there's no point, it's pointless, you know. It is literally a waste of money, as you can hear the film, you know, going
whirring through the mag.
Whirring through the mag.
The names of the pubs
Yeah.
in the film, awesome. How much thought went into each of those names, and are those actually names of pubs?
They're all real pub names. I mean, obviously we started with The World's End, which is like the title for the whole movie, which is there are several bars in England. There's quite a few of them. It's quite a common pub name. But then when we wrote the story and we had the 12 bars, we knew what was going to happen in each scene, and then we went back and named those bars after real bars. So we had like a book of like real pub names, and then we would attribute that name to this scene. And so then what we wanted them to feel like is that the names are always very fancy and kind of like descriptive, even if the bar itself is quite shitty. Like, so we wanted it to feel like tarot cards, is that these pub names are telling you things about the movie. So when you go and see the film, and you will, is you'll see, if you start to analyze the pub names, you'll start to see in the scenes why the pubs are named after them.
So they're all real.
Just noticed you have odd socks on.
Yeah, you blew it, son.
I do.
But one is black and one is white. And what colour do they make?
Gray.
All the way
Bingo.
through.
Famous cock.
Can you just say
The
legit?
real bar.
So
The famous cock is legit.
they're all legit. They're too legit to quit.
There's only one famous cock in the UK, though. It's in Highbury, which is near where we used to live. And because there's only one of them, we had to ask them if we could use the name. There's plenty of cocks, just cocks. But the famous cock, there's only one.
Now there's going to be a whole bunch after this movie.
We're three famous cocks for a start.
All right, I just got to talk about that.
I'm more known for my balls, though, to be fair.